Hi, I'm Epark from Minigame Guides, and today we're taking a look at all the different skills in Project Zomboid. Now, not all of them are as obvious what they actually are supposed to do, so for that reason, I just really wanted to make this video where we just run down all the different skills, how to level them up, and basically just what every skill is all about, so that way you can really prioritize on which ones you should focus from the very start. Now, first of all, you can consult the skills that you have by pressing the little heart in the top left corner, and there you can just go to the skills tab, and there you will see all the available skills. The little bars behind each skill are XP bars, so each time you fill one of them up, you're in the next level for that skill. And of course, the higher your skill is, the better your character will perform in that specific skill. But there are ways that you can increase the XP that you gain for each skill. Now, first of all, for example, one of the better traits that you can take when creating your character is Fast Learner. Fast Learner will give you an additional 30% on all XP gained. In addition, you can also start using skill books. Now, skill books are only available for skills in the crafting and survival categories. What books basically do is they are going to give you additional XP gain. So they're going to give you a multiplier. So whenever you are reading a book, for example, for carpentry, for beginners, for example, what it will do is it will place these 3 arrows right next to carpentry, for example. Whenever you have these arrows next to that skill, that basically means that you have a multiplier going. So for example, if you will multiply 3, that means whenever you start getting experience for doing that specific skill, the XP gain will be multiplied by 3, so giving you the opportunity to level that skill a lot quicker. But because there are different versions of skill books, so for example, carpentry for beginners will only give you an XP benefit for the very first 2 levels. And then after that, you have the intermediaries, then you have the expert, and then the master, if I'm not mistaken. So you do always need to read the next part, and you can only start reading those books when you actually have the right level for that specific skill. Another great way to level up certain skills is life and living. Now, for the first 9 days during your playthrough, you will have 3 shows on this channel. At 6 a.m., at 12, and at 18 or 6 p.m., there will be a program for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now, depending on the hour that you're watching on which day, you will be able to get some free XP from this just by watching that TV. So in the morning, that's always going to be cooking. In the noon, that's always going to be carpentry. And in the evening, it will be either farming, fishing, foraging, or trapping. Okay, so now that we have that behind us, let's go through all of the different skills and see which one does what and which ones we should prioritize early on. First of all, we have strength. Now, strength is really important for surviving the zombie world for the very simple reason that it determines your carry weight, but it will also, for example, make it a lot easier to open locked windows, do melee attacks, shove knockbacks. It will increase the melee weapons damage by 5% and just give you an additional damage for stomping down zombies. And it also improves the shove or push knockback chance. This is a massive thing for killing zombies really easy. So this is really one of those things you should focus on. So if you are going to create a character with a very low strength, you will have a lot harder time for the most basic things. You can level up strength by mainly doing strength exercises, or carrying a heavy load or running. And strength experience is also granted when hitting zombies or trees with melee attacks. On the other hand, you also have fitness industry, and basically what it does, it will give you more running and combat endurance. So you will be able to run further, you will be able to fight zombies a lot longer without tiring. It also increases your jogging, running, sprinting speed. But sprinting actually has its own skills, so fitness will have a lot less impact on this one specifically. Fitness can be leveled up by sprinting, for example, doing fitness exercises and using melee attacks while you are not overexerted. Okay, so in the agility tree, as mentioned before, we have sprinting. Now this one affects how fast you can run and sprint, while the fitness one is more for your endurance. This one is more for your general speed of the running. This can be leveled up, of course, by running or sprinting. So either by holding the shift key to run or the left alt key to sprint. But if your character is unfit, for example, he's obese, overexerted, overburdened, or stuff like that, and he's unable to sprint, he will still try to power walk. But even while doing the power walk, you can still gain some sprinting XP. Light-footed is your general ability to move quietly, so you can level this up really quickly by just sneaking, walking, or running near zombies while undetected. The nimble skill affects how fast you move while sneaking. It will also decrease the chance of tripping and how much visibility you lose when aiming. Now it will also increase the speed at which you move while in the combat stance, so that's while you are holding the right mouse button. You just can increase your nimble skill by just walking in combat stance anywhere, or just sneaking and jumping over fences. And last but not least, sneaking. So this is your general ability to avoid detection and make less noise when sneaking. Now this can be leveled just by simply sneaking while zombies are nearby and being undetected. Now if you weren't paying attention, you can basically level up light-footed, nimble, and sneaking by just sneaking, which is really great. Now, for the combat tree, we have axe, long blunt, short blunt, long blade, short blade, spear. These are all weapon types, and the more that you use one, the more XP you will get, and the higher your skill level will be, so the higher the effectiveness of those specific weapons will be. So it's just a really great idea. So if you actually have no combat skill, that you always stick to the same one. If you picked, for example, a specific occupation or a specific skill while creating your character, that gives you a specific increase to a certain weapon type, try to be always using that weapon type. In addition, you actually also have the maintenance skill in the combat tree. Now, this is a really simple one, but a really, really great one. Now, this will give you the chance for any weapon to not lose any condition when used. So you know well enough whenever the condition on your weapon goes low, that it will go broken, and then it's useless until it's gets repaired. With maintenance, the durability of your weapon is going to be increased, so that is a pretty great one. Let's talk about the crafting tree next. So carpentry, for example, if you raise that skill, it will allow you to repair items better, perform new building options, improve the quality of life, and increase the health of player constructed carpentry. Now, you can basically just level this up by barricading, crafting anything that uses planks, dismantling furniture and shelving, or by sawing logs into planks. This is a really great one, very from the start, because, for example, you can also start crafting spears, which are at this point pretty strong weapon that you can use. Okay, so for cooking, if you increase this skill, it will actually increase the hunger reduction on your crafted food. So basically, it will leave you more time before your character gets hungry again. And in addition, if you raise your cooking skill to level 4, it will allow you to make soups and stews with rotten ingredients. This is pretty much massive, especially when the electricity goes out. You have a lot of refrigerators without electricity, and you will get a lot of rotten food in the houses. So this is just a really great way to use those rotten ingredients and get some extra food. I really like this one. Farming. If you increase your farming skill, it will allow you to check up on the plant status, and information available increases as the skill does. And you can basically just level this up by harvesting crops. Now, first aid, just raising this first aid skill will allow you to bandage wounds quicker, treat wounds better in general, understanding more ailments and spot infections on your health panel, and much more besides that. Now, the higher the skill, the faster the time of healing will be. The bandages will get dirty a lot slower. And the first aid skill is just leveled up by performing medical actions on yourself or others if you're playing multiplayer. Electrical, just increasing this electrical skill allows you to operate generators and create devices. And you can easily level this up by dismantling electronics. For example, like the watches that you can get off zombies, but also radios, CD players, and stuff like that. Now, metalworking is basically the upgrade of carpentry for structures. So you will be able to make structures with metal, which is stronger than wood, of course, and you can just easily build metal containers, structures, barricades, and stuff like that. This is personally something that I would push to the end game, but that is me. Now, mechanics, if you increase this skill, it will actually give you the ability to repair and change parts on cars. And if you combine it with electrical, it will give you the opportunity to hotwire your cars without a key. Now, the mechanic skill is leveled by just mounting and unmounting car parts, but that hot wiring of cars really makes it a great option. tailoring at the start will just give you the ability to patch or fortify clothes. Now, the amount of defense that it gives is completely depends on the skill level. But as your skill levels get high, and I mean pretty high, then you will be able to completely fully repair all your clothes. And just as the other ones, is basically leveled by just doing it. So repairing and fortifying clothes, for example. Let's talk about the firearm tree next. Now, not only does it give you accuracy, so how accurately you can shoot, but it will also increase your chance to make some critical hits, increase your range, your angle, recoil time, and this can just be leveled up by shooting an enemy with a firearm. God knows where you're gonna find one of those. Now, your reloading skill determines how long it takes your character to take out a magazine, load some bullets, and insert the magazine back in. Now, this can be leveled up by just inserting bullets into a magazine, reloading any firearm with a new magazine, inserting bullets directly into any firearm. But just note that when reloading is set to normal or hardcore, reloading a handgun can be done repeatedly just for practice. It's not really necessary to discharge the weapon, which makes it an ideal way to level the skill. Let's talk about the survivalist tree next. So first of all, fishing. A fishing skill determines how long you're going to fish, the chance of breaking the line, letting the fish escape, losing bait or tackle, and increase your chance to catch a larger fish. Now this can be basically leveled up by casting your line into the water or using a spear to fish. No matter what the outcome of the cast will be, you will always get some XP, but larger fish will give you more XP. Trapping. Now, the trapping skill will give you a better chance of catching something in a trap and the ability to make new traps. And this can be easily leveled by just retrieving the animals caught in your traps. And your foraging skill gives you a better chance to find materials and a higher quality of food items and a higher quality of them. Now, this can be leveled by just going into the forest, right-clicking on an area, and just selecting forage. It's that easy. Okay, so those were all these skills in Project Zomboid. I hope you found this useful because it's really important to know how to level the skills, how they work, and what you can really do to level them up, and what you can specifically do with them. But either way, I hope you found this useful, and if you do, just be sure to check out this playlist because it has a lot more useful guides for Project Zomboid. Guys, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.